What is up, everybody? I hope you guys are having a wonderful, beautiful Sunday here in Colorado. Sunshine, no clouds, hot. So I'm just chilling in this hot ass room with an air conditioner. That's probably going to be making me freeze here in a little bit, but other other than that, I just have been laughing my ass off all morning. And one of you guys had brought this up. Whenever I do my filler time on what I upload, I was talking about how like I just found out like, oh, this is my generation or whatever. I'm wrong again. I'm not a Gen X. I fall in between. Well, according to this guy, and this dude made me laugh my ass off. And I do have, if you guys ever upload videos to YouTube, you'll have, your title, description of what you're uploading. Then you have like a subset of like what, like if people are searching for something on, YouTube, it'll give you like a subset of different things, like words that you would use. So like if I upload, Newfound Glory or Blink 182 or whatever, you type that in. And I've always had comedy in there because I uploaded a couple comedy videos, but for some reason, I wasn't doing it as often. You have to excuse me. I woke up with a sore throat for some reason. I don't know, maybe just a dry weather. But I have, things in my mouth. But yeah, this dude is fucking hilarious. So, without further ado, this dude goes by Veteran Dad Bod. So, you got to check him out if you want a good laugh at it. Here we go. Also, one thing I wanted to mention before I play this, it's the sound on his end that's not that loud. So I have it up like really loud, and you can see like I'll be turning it up right here to 100 because it's really hard to hear. I already recorded the first one. The second one is Dodgeball, which I'm listening for the first. Started listening partway through, and I was trying to adjust the sound, but I don't want to fuck up the settings because when I had gotten the new mic back, it took me forever to get the settings right. So you might have to turn up your volume a little bit. Because yeah, it's kind of wonky. So just want to let you guys know that.
We spend an awful lot of time talking about Gen X in the days before, but we don't often give recognition to our little subset generation within us. Yes, the Zennials, those who are of the late Gen X age and the early millennial age, live in that cusp world, somewhere between 1975 and 1985, depending on who you're talking to. Why are these people unfortunately different than the rest of us? Well, they're too feral to be considered a millennial, and they're much too positive to be considered a Gen X. You see, they grew up with the analog world in their early childhood, and the digital world in their adulthoods, and they can communicate eloquently between the
two. So I remember in second grade having the Apple II in our classroom playing the Oregon Trail. Being born in 1980, had the luxury of learning how to drive a stick shift, knowing what that little side clicky button on near the pedals does that would turn your brights on or off. This dude is, he is freaking hilarious. He's cracking me up with this shit. I cannot stop laughing.
Early Gen Xers, of course, they don't know this world. Well, our late millennials, well, they don't know a world without it. They're very dangerous. Yes, the small microcosm. Somewhat of a demigod being able to walk between the two like a daywalker. Yes, we must give credit to them because they exist. And they are part of us whether we want them or not. So please, thank your Zennials for who they are and what they can do.
Okay, this is just humorous from the standpoint of being in that age gap, and I don't know if anyone else is going to find this funny, but obviously a lot of people do because he has a lot of followers. There's a couple more videos I'm going to showcase, so like I said, a comedy day. I mean, I do music all the time. We're talking about movies, but I mean, yeah, this is comical. I often say, so the very first thing that I ever did in acting was a comedy skit for 3 YouTube commercials, and I still haven't seen them yet. and what it was about was it was called A Quiet Place. That was the name of the shoot, A Quiet Place. So it was just me, like, you know, pretending like I'm on an app, and it was an app where you can win like real world money stuff. So it'd be like in a quiet library or whatever, and or like one of them was library, the other one was like a yoga class, and another one was like in a park with kids and everything around, and I'm like playing this game, not like really paying attention to my surroundings, hence the quiet place. And then I would just like suddenly like yell. I'm not gonna do it now because it's just whatever, but like I would just yell out all like, oh my God, and freak the shit out of people. And like that to me is like the kind of comedy stuff I like. But one thing that I struggle with, and I know I had cut this video because I'm trying to fix the audio. Like I had mentioned, the audio is weird, but messing with it too much, I don't want to just screw it up. But I was saying like one thing as an actor that I cannot do are accents. And I have a project coming up where it's gonna kind of require one, I guessing, unless they're okay with the way I sound now. But I'm gonna be shit out of luck if they're not cool with me change, like, kind of keeping it like this, because I don't know how much better I could. Yeah, to go that route would be very difficult. So, anyways, a little bit. That was just a little bit about like my chops with acting, and here he is, like he does this cool like if you're watching like Lord of the Rings, like The Shire or something, which just makes it even more hilarious. So on to the next one.
About to learn the secret ingredient added to school pizza and why you were so addicted.
Well, the world has finally come full circle. They are now admitting that those little rectangles of delight were specifically placed there to cause us to become addicted to it. No shit. You see, those little rectangles weren't just pizzas back then. They were everything to us. We would have given anything that we had. Our recess, our delicious treats that Mother had packed in our brown bag, any of the toys we'd snuck in our book bag. I would even give up some of my money that I had been saving for the bookstore to have just one taste of that pizza. Now, it's carried forward, for I'm still addicted to it. Pizza is a staple in my diet, normally once a week. And yet, you wonder why the Gen X has trust issues. Well, there's your evidence right there.
Do school lunches still give these little pizzas out? Because my God, those things were delicious. He's right. We would have given up anything. Here, I'll give you, like, I think that's where probably a lot of people who sell drugs start learning how to sell drugs. Man, I'll hook you up with 2 of these, chocolate puddings for that. All right, man. Those damn little things were delicious. When you knew, like, I don't know if your schools ever gave you, like, a lunch schedule, like, what you were going to get on a certain day, but, like, I know the days that I would see, like, Sloppy Joes or something, I'd be like, damn it, I'm going to just, like, some schools would be like, oh, you got to eat all your food. I'd be like, man, I'm already fat. Why are you going to fucking make me eat all my food? And this is, like, I was 5th grade, 200 pounds, so I was fat. And I'm like, don't make me eat this. Or Pig in the Blankets. Oh, my God, those are awful. Sloppy Joes, Pig in the Blankets. But when it came to those pizzas, man, I mean, everybody was hustling to get, like, a second piece from somebody else. Like, gonna finish that? That's where that came from, man. I'm telling you. He's right on the point. The only thing that I think beat those little school pizzas were, and I know hate's a strong word, but I really did not like Pizza Hut. To this day, I still really, really don't like Pizza Hut at all. But when they came out with the Bigfoot, oh my God, that was delicious. That compared to those, but yeah, let me know if they still make those pizzas in school, man. I already know this is gonna be fucking hilarious.
That must be told. Sit for a moment and let us spin this tale. You see, in the days before, there was a game of pitch combat where we could directly strike another child within the school. It would be totally okay. It was that of dodgeball. We played this game in the gymnasium, the gladiatorial coliseum, if you will. The balls were placed in the center of the room. On the teacher blowing the whistle, We would all rush towards the balls, attempting to grab them, strike the player on the other team, causing them to be out of the game. But if they caught our volley, well, we would be out.
So we never played that way. Wait, no, we did. But so the funny thing is, I just mentioned this in the last one I was doing of his. I was a big boy. In 5th grade, I was already 200 pounds, 5'6", 200 pounds. So I was a big target, but I could catch those damn balls, and I had an arm on me. I could even, no bullshit. My coach told me this in football because I played defensive end because I was fast for being as big as I was. And he saw me slinging the ball around, you know, because I always wanted to be a quarterback. I mean, who doesn't want to be a quarterback? Everybody wants to be the quarterback. And our quarterback sucked. He really did. But anyways, he's like, you could play the position if you weren't so goddamn big. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I should have started losing weight right then and there. But not saying I was like good enough to ever become a college quarterback. I'm nowhere even saying that, but I knew I was good enough to where I could put the ball right on the money, had some velocity. I loved playing like every pick 'em up game, quarterback. And it all started from dodgeball. That's where the love of throwing came from. I can't throw a baseball for shit. I really can't, but I could throw a football and freaking those damn rubber balls. And besides, I had giant ass hands already as a little kid. I was like, yep, I'm on this like white on rice.
It also deflected for the ball they had in their hands and continued their raging attacks. About one such day, our class was taking on the championship team, a team that had reigned victorious for all of the years. This team had a secret weapon. It was that of a child by the name of Matthew. But Matthew had been held back a year, his parents saying that he needed to mature further before he was ready for the next grade. Matthew, he had a distinct physical advantage because of this. His hands like that of a middle school baseball player. His size, stature, much larger than that of all the other children. Cat-like reflexes. He easily evade the attacks from the opposing teams on the dodgeball court. But on this day, we would take our turn in an attempt to dethrone them from their seat. I remember the day. It was hot in the gymnasium. The air conditioner was not working properly. Sweat was dripping from our brow onto the hardwood surface.
Oh my god.
The teacher placed the balls in the center of the room. We peered and gazed. The gladiators on the other side of the room, and Matthew stood at the ready. My friend Timothy and I, we were strong players, but not the strongest. I would wait back because I was not fast. The attacks they began, and there it was. The teacher blew the whistle. Our fastest of children ran to the line. They grabbed the balls and attempted to quickly hurl to get some of the slower players out, but I held back. I was not ready to make my move. Timothy was aggressive. He moved forward, continued his attacks, getting 1, 2, 3 children out. We were gaining ground. But then Matthew came out of nowhere, striking 4 or 5 of our own teammates out. Yes, the numbers quickly dwindled. You could hear the screams of children being struck in the arms, the legs, the chest, and sometimes even in the face.
You guys probably already know this, but Billy Madison, Adam Sandler's movie, Billy Madison, where he has to go back to school to prove to his dad so he could get his inheritance and all that stuff. If you guys don't know this, I'm shocked, but being, you know, a big old movie buff, he actually hurled the shit out of those dodgeballs at those little kids in the movies. So when you see them like all stunned and hurting and everything, that wasn't acting on their part. He was really just targeting the shit out of them. So it's it's funny that they would even, looking back on it now, like, you know, hindsight, you had, you know, little girls and you had boys all mixed together in dodgeball. And I mean, I remember seeing girls like whack getting hit in the face and thinking to myself like, oh my goodness, like, you know, of course now that would, I bet you dodgeball is banned. Somebody who probably got their asses whooped in dodgeball so much, you ended up becoming, you know, head of some school thing and was like, nope, we're banning dodgeball. It scarred him or her for life. I don't blame it if it's a her, but if it was a him, taking competitive sports away, field day, come on, man, not cool.
The whizzing of the rubber balls past our head were like bullets in the trenches. But there we were. Our numbers continued to dwindle, while theirs stayed steady. But then Timothy had another attack. He took out many of their opponents. But now it was just Timmy, myself, and Matthew. Matthew holding 2 balls in his hands, Timmy with 1. Matthew made his attack towards Timmy. Timmy deflected it, the ball bouncing and coming towards me into my hands. Quickly, Timothy arched his next fire, shot it directly at Matthew. Matthew dodged it, fired another one back, striking Timmy in the face. I had my ball left, and it was my turn to make my shot. I aimed true. I released the ball as fast as I could. In the air, it felt like forever. Would it make its mark? It did. It struck Matthew, taking out the great titan that he was. We had become victorious. And on this day, it was not just about us winning, no. We had feared that we would never be the ones who would free all of the other classes from the tyranny of Matthew and his gladiatorial classroom. Yes, dodgeball was a great game, as this story was repeated through many of the schools in many of the parts of the country. For those days were good indeed.
Oh my God, how does he come up with this? It is so true, man. Oh my God. I got to keep up with a couple more. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just laughing my ass off too much.
Saw on the internet, people who lived in the 90s or earlier, instead of using a phone before going to bed, what did you do? Just sleep?
You know, it isn't the question itself that astonishes me the most. It's more of the fact that the children these days can't imagine a time like those in the days before when, well, if you were told to do something, you just did it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, when you were put in your bed for bedtime, you were tucked in, you were told good night, and that was it. There was nothing else. No entertainment. It doesn't matter if you were tired or not, you laid there until you fell asleep. You had no other option because, well, waking a parent up, that was a fate worse than death. And no, you weren't allowed to play or do anything else. There was no forms of entertainment at that time. And well, to be honest with you, you had to get yourself up in the morning because you were a latchkey kid on both sides of school.
Amen to that.
Sometimes in the morning you would get yourself up, brush your own teeth, get yourself dressed, do your morning chores because you had those as well. Then also get yourself off to school, either to ride that bus or to start that 9-mile walk uphill both ways in the middle of winter on a frozen street on a snow day to school. And you didn't want to mess that up. Because again, not doing that would be a fate worse than death. But you see, those days, as different as they are, I believe they were good as well. I wish many children these days would have had the chance to experience them.
I don't think kids could handle it. I really don't. All right, a couple more. Like I said, this is just too funny. Oh yeah, this one's gonna hit home.
You know, when I woke up this beautiful Saturday morning, I realized many children may not understand what it was like on Saturday mornings in the days before, because you see, the children these days, they just could spend all day in bed, and when they do wake up, the lack of responsibilities, stay in their rooms on their Xboxes doing God knows what. Now, it was much different in the days before, because you see, we would wake up promptly, 6:30 a.m.
Yep.
Have our bowl of cereal,
Amen.
which is usually a knockoff version of Lucky Charms or Golden Grams. And promptly at 7 a.m. we would lay ourselves in front of the TV because that was time for Saturday morning cartoons.
The Smurfs, Alvin and
stay
the
there,
Chipmunks.
taking turns watching TVs if you had siblings, watching your favorite shows. Because after Looney Tunes was over at 11:30, we were promptly escorted out of the house, back into this feral world called the outside. We'd stay all day, unless you were one of those poor children who were stricken with the duties of chores. Yes, if you were stuck in the house during the day, it was a punishment beyond death. Doing all sorts of indentured servitude for the parents, cleaning the house, laboring away for father in the outside. You could be doing any of these things, yes. Our happy place was that feral world called the outside, living there till the sun would go down, when the street lights would come on, and we were permitted to return back into that home, the cleanest home ever. His mother had labored all day. It was much different in the days before, but those times were good indeed.
Last one. This dude is too much.
How does one not know the streetlight rule? Children these days are raised in some wayward ways. Sit for a moment and let me explain. You see, in the days before, there was a great object that hung over us as we spent our hours in this world called the outside. For again, we were not permitted in the inside where the adults live. No. But this device waited patiently for its time, for it was a nocturnal being. And as the sun reached towards the horizon to leave for the afternoon, this device would begin to glow slightly. Stronger and stronger its light would become. It became an identifier to us, for our parents had told us that we must be home before the streetlights came on. And those of us who did not make it would suffer a punishment worse than death, yes. Father or mother waiting impatiently on the front steps or on the couch for us to return back into the home, knowing the punishment that we would face. No, but these streetlights, they were beautiful when they were illuminated. A great orange would fall upon the entire neighborhood. Most of the children were sent home. There were those unique children who were permitted to be out past the streetlights.
I was one of them. My mom was cool enough that I never had a curfew. She totally put trust in me and my brother. Or either that, or I was just too much of a little shit that I'd probably like complain and cry and all that stuff. So she's just like, all right, go ahead, go get kidnapped. But no, I had a curfew to a degree, but in high school, I didn't have a curfew. She trusted us, and you know, I paid back her trust with being semi-responsible. So yeah, this is hilarious. What it was for me, it wasn't the street light, it was mom's whistle. Once I heard that whistle, I'm like, gotta go. So that usually came like around 9. But yeah.
Renegades they were. How they were permitted to do this, it is unbeknownst to me, but I remember that rule well. For those were good times indeed.